Hello everyone, this is Cool Pro 195 streaming live of my Elgato Game Capture HD60s Plus showcase live stream. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even gonna try and sugarcoat it. This is legit my third attempt because of technical difficulties happening, twice in a row now, which is retarded as fuck. Man, I swear I swear I didn't even mute my mic on fucking OBS because I knew it wasn't flashing on my actual Blue Yeti Pro Edition. But yeah, anyways, as you can tell, this live stream I'm actually gonna showcase the Elgato Game Capture HD60s Plus, and yeah, it's pretty much, for those of you who have been keeping up with my channel, you'd know that I've actually been doing that I've actually been doing showcase live streams like this, pretty much in the style of an unboxing video. So yeah, this is pretty much the same format as that. And yeah, I figured I'd do it as a live stream because it's just, well, with this current situation, especially with Crash Bandicoot 4, it's about time coming out within less than a week now. I figured I'd just do it as a live stream just to get it over and done with and save myself over the tedious chore of editing. Don't get me wrong, editing does help make a video better, of course, but this time around I just figured I'd do it as a live stream instead of just a standalone unboxing video. Plus, this, it also reaches out to more people on two separate platforms like that, so in a way that's also a bonus. But yeah, for those of you who are watching earlier, I sincerely apologize for the technical difficulties. Honestly, especially with something like the mic being muted in OBS, that's usually something that I'd pick up, but I don't know what the fuck is going on. And I swear I didn't even mute it once. It's been ages. I barely even mute my mic at all, if anything. But anyways, enough of that. But anyways, yeah. By the way, thanks very much to Old School Gamer NR1, aka Zombie Hunter's Comeback / Skull Crusher, who's actually in the live stream right now within the chat. Cheers for pointing that out earlier on. But yeah, you can hear me now, bro. That's cool. But yeah, welcome to the live stream, people. And hey, Daddy Cola just jumped in. He's like, hey, new capture card. Yeah, you know it, Cola Pro. You know it. Yeah, I got it a few days ago, and I was gonna live stream it pretty much a day after. I was gonna live stream it yesterday morning or the night before, but then I just realized that I didn't have to jump in. Well, I knew it the entire time, but at the same time, I knew this all along, but it's just that now more than ever, I just felt especially that now that I'm being pretty much short for time, being cut short for time, especially with Crash 4 coming out within less than a week, I figured that, and with how the pandemic has blown pretty much everything out in the air, it's pretty much blown, yeah, the way the pandemic has actually, man, I can't speak for shit right now, but yeah, that's what we get for live commentary, and that's just life. But yeah, anyways, especially with the pandemic just blowing up everyone's plans, just throwing everything up in the air, especially due to how at some point this week I got a cold, but it's been gradually getting better. I figured that I'd put it off just for a little bit, but not for too long, just to compose myself better, and then just live stream when I'm at a much better state of mind. Oh, and yeah, by the way, those of you who are in the Dingo Crash server, you can feel free to join the commentary if you want. I'm actually in the general channel right now, within the Dingo Crash Discord server, so if you want to jump in, feel free to do so. Yeah. Oh, Cola Pro's joining, sick. Nice, so this is gonna become eventful. Yeah, Stefan, I don't think you're in the Dingo Crash server, but I think I might send you the link. If I can find it. It's on his channel.
Hey,
Cola Pro.
hello.
Oh, I just joined the live stream and yeah, this is gonna be cool. Oh, he found it. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
already in the server, so yeah. I don't know if Stefan's gonna join.
Oh,
Hey, Stefan's here now and all.
I found
This has become more eventful now.
What's up, fellow gamers?
Not much, you.
Not much, man. Just doing some school stuff.
That needs to be done as well, yeah. It's very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a nice, what you say, showcase, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a long
Except-
time since
yeah.
Stefan's actually been live himself as well.
But
And this is the first time since
That's
you've
true.
actually. This is actually the very first time you've guest commentated in one of my live streams and all.
Yeah, that is true. Normally you're the one.
Yeah, normally like I'm just helping you maintain shit on your live streams, and now here you are tagging along.
But only for a little bit. Gonna take a shower in a moment.
All right, just be a
Man
BRB,
in the
bro.
shower.
I thought, it's gonna be a small stream.
Yeah,
You're just showing off your capture card.
yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Yeah, and so the title entails, and yeah, I've discovered earlier on that Twitch doesn't actually let you rename the title mid live stream, which is fucking retarded.
Yeah, that's kind of dumb.
They don't do that anymore. Like, I really don't understand why they did that, and I don't know who I really don't know who's in charge of executive decision making, but whoever made that decision needs to be sacked. I'm just kidding. But legit, it's a terrible decision, though.
It is,
Yeah. I also hear myself with an echo. I don't know who.
Yeah, I don't know
It's
who
far
either,
away.
but yeah.
I think that's GoPro a bit. but
Yeah,
It's very slight.
it's from Pedro.
Oh yeah, it's because like
Yeah.
I usually have my headset like at max. So then I can just fully hear everything. Well, it's not like I can't
It's
fully
fine,
hear
man.
everything at lower volume, but if I put it up, then I just hear it all in better detail,
Yeah, of course. High velocity. But it's really not that big of a deal. It's
Yeah,
small.
it's not that big of a deal. But yeah.
Yeah.
And also the pandemic, hope everyone's still like staying put if they're ill, like myself. But even though I've gradually been getting better, like,
Hold
it's
up.
still a bit of a bitch, but I'm at a better state of mind now. And yeah, I just figured it's better to do these live streams at a better state of mind, therefore you can present it better. And now that I have you guys in, I honestly feel much more chill now.
That's nice. I'm glad we could make you more chill.
Yeah, it's moral support, innit?
Of course. You had a cold, man. That's probably like made you down, but feel down. But yeah, it's gonna get better.
Yeah, it gradually gets better. But yeah, anyways, enough for like that casual shit. We're almost 10 minutes into the showcase, well, into the live stream itself now. So yeah, for those of you who have been sitting tight and waiting patiently, let's jump into the showcase. Okay, so here we are with the capture card itself. Here we have the Elgato Game Capture HD60S Plus. And
Fancy.
as you saw earlier, as you can probably see now but just faintly, but as you also saw within the thumbnail, it also says play and create without compromise, which is pretty much the target aspect of this capture card. Hence, it's also pretty much designed for live streamers in mind, with the fact that it has a 4K 60 frames per second HDR signal pass-through function, along with being able to record with like the maximum standards of either 4K at 30 frames per second or 1080p at 60 frames per second, or 1080p at 60 frames per second, both in HD60R, with the user interface of a USB Type-C connection with USB 3.0 connection, plus the instant game view feature, which its predecessor, the HD60S, was famous for. And I'm gonna be honest, like, its predecessor was actually the most reliable capture card that I've ever used to date when it came to live streaming, because it was just capable of maintaining a consistent live feed, unlike some PCIe interface based capture cards like the AVerMedia Live Gamer 4K. And of course, some of you may know or are aware that some of you have actually been watching my channel through the years, or at least through like the recent years, would know that I've picked myself up an AVerMedia Live Gamer 4K, and have been using it for quite some time, especially with live streams. It's been somewhat reliable. I know that it's actually, in terms of performance, is the best capture card that I've ever used. In terms of performance, but in terms of reliability and maintaining a consistent video feed, like the Elgato Game Capture HD60S, the predecessor to this capture card that you see right here, has been the most reliable. Oh hey Chrissy, welcome to the live stream.
Hey,
Chrissy, the
Hey,
innocent
how you doing?
princess. Sup Chris? She says woman's here.
Hey, Chrissy.
Oh hey, T5A5NK N5K. Hey, welcome to the live stream. It's the first time you joined one of my live streams and all. Yeah, Tank, that's it. Well, I forgot that was
You're
one of your
just in time,
nicknames. But yeah, having more people jump into the live stream, and yeah, we've just been discussing like just some general shit earlier on. But yeah, now that we're pretty much gradually getting into the showcase itself, I'm pretty much explaining the, kind of the whole concept of this capture card. And yeah, I got this for the sake of reliability, and also to maintain pretty much the same sort of visuals that I can with the AVerMedia Live Gamer 4K. And plus, the reason why I say that this capture card was also designed especially with live streamers in mind, because a lot of people tend to live stream on Twitch, and for those of you who have actually been on Twitch for a long time wouldn't know that 1080p at 60 frames per second is the maximum that you can go with Twitch when it comes to live streaming. So yeah, that's pretty much a bar standard, whereas live streaming at 4K, like, all that is on YouTube, and anything above 1080p in terms of live streaming, that's considered a bonus. And 720p is more reasonable, but 1080, and it's decent enough, but 1080p at 60 frames per second is above decent. So yeah, that's really a sweet spot that everyone aims to achieve if they have the bitrate. If, of course, they have the connection to do so. But yeah, sick capture card, innit, Chris? And we have 5 live viewers already.
Mm.
Yeah, and I've earned some
nice.
followers recently and all, which is really helpful.
Where did you get the capture card, on Amazon or something?
Yeah, it's from Amazon. It was actually on sale as well, which was really helpful. It was like, I don't know, it was like, I think it was £7 or £8 less. I can't remember the exact like price, but it was definitely on sale, and I figured I'd get it, especially in time for Crash 4. Especially when it comes to live streaming that game, I really don't want, shit cutting out and stuff. And yeah, I'll get more into the interface itself much later on when we actually, properly showcase everything. And yeah, Chrissy, I think this will look familiar to you, because this is one of the capture cards that I've actually recommended to you personally as well.
The new Elgato HD60S Plus.
Yeah,
it's beast. It's kind of like a pocket edition as well.
Yeah, in a way it is.
You can take it anywhere as long as someone has an HDMI cable and a 3.0.
Yeah, it's the same size.
Someone has an HDMI cable and a 3.0 USB port. You can use it anywhere.
Yeah, you just carry it in like just a midget. just like a little
Yeah.
pocket.
You just need
or
the software
whatever.
as well, but
Yeah.
you just need to install the drivers and software, and you're ready.
Yeah. Of course, it requires Windows 10, but yeah. Anyways, I'll get into that. Anyways, we'll get into that later on. But anyways, yeah. As you can see, this is pretty much what the front of the box showcases: 4K 60 HDR pass-through, 1080p, 60 HDR capture, USB 3.0 interface, or 3.0, however you pronounce it, and instant game view, a core feature that is valued within this capture card, especially when it comes to modern day capture cards. And yeah, I think some of you are aware that the 4K 60s Plus also exists, and that is a really good capture card because it has post-processing, so it doesn't put a strain on your computer CPU or GPU whatsoever. But the catch to that is that you don't have instant game view feature, so you can't have a real-time preview when it comes to actually looking at, the actual preview itself, like the gameplay preview on the official Elgato Game Capture HD software. So yeah, that's the catch there. And with that being the case, I think that should have just been called the 4K 60S and not the 4K 60S Plus, because with a title like that, you'd expect it to be the full package with instant game view and all, and post-processing. Like, of course, that should be an option. Like, it should be optional.
Yeah.
Well, it is optional. You can choose to, record directly to your computer as well, but you have like the extra option in order to record to an SD card.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, like, if you want to record, you can just stream and record at the same time.
Yeah, you can, like, plus that's what OBS is for.
Just do that.
And that's pretty much what these
Yeah.
capture cards are actually designed for now. Like, they're designed with, like, OBS users in mind. Like, I'm using OBS Studio right now, and it's working wonders for me. And yeah, the back here,
OBS
of course.
best app.
Yeah, and the back over here you can see it says next level performance. And yeah, there are French translations there as well. There's authentic gameplay, lag-free 4K 60 HDR pass-through, professional capture, spectacular 1080p HD60 HD 1080p HDR at 60 frames per second. And see, I'm reading this from afar. I know it's up close in the camera, but from where I am, I'm sort of reading this from afar, so it's like, it's making me trip up a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah.
Well,
If you saw this
let's
setup,
see.
man, like, this room ain't so
So-
big, but
so-
yeah. I'm having better clarity
so
than I
wait.
thought I would, though. Like, for the lighting.
So-
But yeah, plug and
But
play.
you're gonna. So basically, your display will be in 4K 60 FPS HDR ready, but if you stream it, it will reduce to 1080p HDR 60 FPS, or
Yeah, if you stream
can
it,
it do 4K?
yeah, if you stream it, it'll be
Or does
at
it do
1080p.
4K?
Well, of course, it depends what you
Yeah.
have it set to, but of course, if you have it set to live streaming at 1080p at 60 frames per second, that's what it will super sample down to.
Because it would be fun to see you play Crash 4 in 4K 60 FPS.
Yeah, you'll see all the 4K visuals for sure, just on a 1080p canvas.
Yeah. But looking at the requirements, you need a GTX 10
Yeah, 10
something
series or
as
plus,
well.
yeah,
So
which I'll get into in a bit. So yeah, it says plug and play, work with your favorite apps, and of course now we're on system requirements, and yeah, as you can see, it requires like Windows 10, the operating systems of either Windows 10, a 64-bit version, which obviously I have, or Mac OS 10.13 or later. So yeah, it's nice that it's Mac friendly for those of you who use Macs as well. But of course, with a Mac, like of course integrated graphics isn't enough. So like you're gonna have to fork out extra money for an eGPU plus like somewhat of a subpar graphics card per se. And you can't even use like Nvidia graphics cards within those eGPUs either. Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, an eGPU is like an external GPU enclosure which you hook up to via Thunderbolt connection.
Yeah.
yeah. yeah, it's kind of obvious. You can't have like beefy performance in a capture card and then have like a shitty computer that needs to process all of that. It's basically
Yeah, if it relies on a computer,
just,
of course,
yeah,
you're gonna have to
yeah,
actually like have hardware that can support it, that's capable of handling like these sort of tasks.
yeah. Else the capture card will be useless. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
sure, you can do the 4K, 60 FPS streaming, whatever the fuck you. But if your PC is pretty much dying and setting itself on fire because of it, yeah,
Yeah,
you
like
still won't be able
blowing
to
up the
get those
PSU per
performance.
se, like blowing up the power
Yeah.
supply in the process.
Hmm.
Yeah, if your computer is that much of a potato, of course. But yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Looking at you.
I don't know exactly who you're looking at, but I have a GTX 1080, so I can do all this shit. But yeah,
Probably right. Probably Ryan or
Yeah.
Kieran.
yeah, either one
And
of
it does
those two. But
have,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well,
has
like
the logos of Twitch, YouTube,
everyone has
and
their
all this stuff.
situations. Yeah, as the logos of all of them. But yeah, we'll get into that in a bit. But yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, tripped up on
I-
my words
I-
a
yeah.
little, but fuck that. Doesn't matter.
I still have my HD PVR2. It works perfectly fine.
Yeah, it still holds
But it
up.
goes over 2.0. Yeah, it goes over 2.0 connection, so it's not that fast as that one, but it's still capable of doing everything.
Yeah, and plus that was before
if
the
you-
whole the whole instant game view feature came along with Elgato
Yeah,
and Ava Media.
exactly. That was the to-go spot to go for. So if you don't have these type of graphics, I would suggest get yourself an HD PVR2. It does the same thing. Not the 4K bit, but you can still stream in 1080p 60 FPS, record in 1080p 60 FPS with OBS, and
Yeah.
the hardware requirements are less. So it's a good solid second if you can't afford or even withhold up with these standards.
Yeah, okay.
It's also a good one to start off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's good for starters, especially when you just want to record. And plus, you can set pretty much like a decent sync offset per se in order to match your commentary, but with instant game view, you don't have to do that. It eliminates that extra step. So yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, good go spots from Stefan there. The HD PVR2. I owned the original HD PVR, then I just jumped on to the original Elgato straight afterwards. And it just worked in my favour. Especially since it doesn't require an external power supply. It's powered straight on the computer itself.
That's even better.
Seems like
Well,
it's very convenient.
Yeah, but it can be an upside and downside when it goes from your computer, because if you need to also supply power from your computer, not much stuff needs to be plugged into your computer, else that will cause lag as well. I mean, I've noticed it with some other stuff.
Yeah. Either way, it plugs into your
But then
computer
again,
anyway. It's just more tasks for your computer to deal with.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of how it's supplying power to the capture card at the same time. But
Yeah,
anyways,
I noticed that.
Yeah, but anyways, you've kind of gone on a bit of a tangent, even though you have like been really informative. We've gone on a bit of a tangent there, so yeah, let's get back on track.
Yeah. Back to the model.
Yeah. Okay, back to the
Cool
point,
thing.
people. So yeah, as we were saying earlier, of course it requires like the GPU of an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 10 series or better, which I own a GTX 1080, so I shouldn't be having any problems whatsoever. I mean, of course, these are just
Sweet.
recommended specs. They're not the maximum or minimum specs. They're more like, they're pretty much middle ground specs that they recommend in order for you to at least have, in order to be able to at least be able to function with it. Otherwise, you're just going to have all sorts of issues. And of course, 4 gigabytes of RAM, which is, of course, pretty much, it's not a lot to actually require, like 4 gigabytes of RAM. That's something that my previous laptop, before I actually built my actual gaming PC, had, which I then upgraded to 8 gigabytes of RAM in the past. I did that
I mean, 4 gig.
Yeah, I did that like a year before I built my gaming PC, so...
Yeah, I mean, these days, 4
helped a little
gigabytes
bit.
of RAM isn't.
But then I
Yeah,
needed
but
a
4 gigabytes of
major...
RAM.
but then I needed a major upgrade. But yeah, you were saying, Stefan?
Yeah, I was gonna say like 4 gigabytes of RAM isn't gonna cut it these days. It's now 8 gigabytes minimum requirements to do anything properly. Even video recording and rendering, it's
Yeah, because
8
4
gigabytes
gigabytes are
and nothing
like,
less.
Yeah, 8 gigabytes, nothing less. Because like
So
I figured like, because I was like, well, 4 gigabytes, is that a typo or some shit? Or
yeah, I mean 4 gigabytes it might work, but it will be the absolute minimum you can use.
yeah, especially with everyone's financial situations and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's
It's
probably
like we have someone.
there's probably just a bit of post processing that sort of eases that, which makes it just about able to function on 4 gigabytes. But I'm not exactly sure if that's 100% the case. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
and of course, an internet connection is obviously required for live streaming and such, and technical specifications, of course, HDMI unencrypted, which is pretty decent, and HDMI, the input is like HDMI unencrypted, and we have HDMI input and HDMI output, which also has lag-free pass-through. And then of course, below it says pass-through resolutions up to 2160p at 60 frames per second, which is 4K. And as I've explained earlier, capture resolutions within HDR is 2160p 30, which is 4K at 60 frames per second, 1080p at 60 frames per second, 1080p at
And then
30
the
frames
basic
per second,
standards.
1080i,
Yeah.
720p at 1080p at 60 frames per second, 1080p at 30 frames per second, 1080i, 720p at 60 frames per second, of course 720p,
Yeah.
576p and 480p, which is the lowest you can go. And
Yeah, so the basic standards, yeah.
Yeah, sort of fell out of focus for a bit, but yeah, this also has HDR10 support, which is decent. So yeah, the HDR is actually HDR10-bit. So yeah, it has HDR10-bit for pass-through and capture. So HDR, and by the way, the HDR capture is currently only available on Windows, of course.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
That's like a no-brainer right there, to like have an actual Windows PC.
Yeah.
Like if you really,
especially when it's especially since it's getting developed for Windows systems first,
if you
and
really
afterwards
want a
Mac.
game and like live stream and everything.
And they give you the suggestions on which you can also use it on like PS3, PS4, PS4 and PS4 Pro, Xbox and Xbox One. I see the Switch even.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Switch has the 3.0 connection. That's correct. So. Oh yeah, and then of course you have the basic platforms like YouTube, Twitch.
Yeah, it has it. Oh hey Eric, welcome to the live stream. I just clocked you joined the chat.
So, are there any flaws of this capture card that you would tell us, or is it perfect?
Well, I'd say like it's perfect for streaming, but like I'm not entirely sure because obviously I need to try out myself. But of course I'm involved myself. But from a general perspective in terms of specs, yeah, it would be like pretty much the ideal capture card to use for live streaming.
Yeah. I'm more worried.
I think the only drawback it has is like you can only go up to 4K at 30 frames per second and not 60 frames per second, but at the same time, like, you know, it's kind of like the sacrifice that you have to make between, well, Elgato pretty much made it as though it's a sacrifice that you have to make between either, like, sacrificing 60 frames per second for the Elgato over, like, sacrificing instant game view with the 4K 60s Plus.
Well, you'll still
Plus,
see
this is a cheaper option, so this is
4K.
the better option if you're like intending to live stream, which is pretty much the main purpose of why I got this.
Yeah, exactly. We'll probably see the 1080p 60 FPS live stream, but you on your TV will probably see it in 4K 60 FPS because that's the pass-through it will allow.
Yeah.
By default, but for streaming wise, it can't do it. So it's. That's the only difference between those.
Yeah,
Like you'll see it on 4K 60 FPS, but we won't be able to because of probably background processing and stuff. I'm guessing.
yeah. In a way, that's basically the scope of it.
I'm actually more wondering the heat exhaustion. Like, how long can it, keep streaming until it starts to like? I'm gonna say like fuck up, but like you see sometimes I see the mic capturing it freezes up because it's getting too overheated. So the stream actually just freezes.
Yeah,
I
like
wonder
that's
if
the
that
last
happens
thing
with
you
this one
want.
as well.
But yeah, anyways, like we might get onto more general stuff later on. But yeah, as you can see, it says perfect for PS4 and PS4 Pro, Xbox One and Xbox One X, and Nintendo Switch. Which is, of course, like, it's designed for those consoles in mind. Especially since the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, like, support the maximum resolutions of 4K and HDR. And by the way, something about HDR is that with a display of the latest standards of up to date, especially to this date, you can't really get 4K without HDR, like, as a default setting.
Yeah. Well,
Unless
technically
you
you can, technically also another thing, you can actually put it in a PS3 as well, because PS3 also has HDMI output, so it technically can also capture PS3 in 1080p 60 FPS. But that's because that's the max on PS3. Like, it can't go higher. PS4 it can.
Of course, like that's a whole generation behind. And plus, with the PS3 specifically, you're gonna need a HDMI splitter because then you can bypass the HDCP encryption.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because then your PS3 has that stupid block section in there as well with the HDR stuff.
It's to prevent people from pirating Blu-ray movies, like recording it straight off the PS. Yeah, recording it straight off the PS3 via the capture card.
Yeah, because it's a Blu-ray disc inside the PS3, the same as in PS4. But
yeah. PS3.
Back in those days,
PS3 practically made the Blu-ray. It practically made the Blu-ray format fashionable. Back in the late 2000s.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's why they put in the block, so you couldn't do that. But then people found a way around it with these capture cards. Like, screw you! I just turn it off, and look, I can still rip it from my Blu-ray.
Well, the main purpose was
by the way.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're not promoting piracy here, people. Of course, the main purpose is to capture gameplay.
Yeah, exactly. It's just an option you could do back in the day that everybody found out pretty quickly, but that's all. The main thing is content. Beautiful, beautiful gaming content.
Yeah, that's the whole point of these capture cards here, people. Let's not forget that. Yeah, and of course, as you can see, there are the logos of the platforms that you can go on, like such as Twitch, YouTube, Mixer. And by the way, Mixer has shut down as of this year, so Mixer's officially out of the picture.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And speaking of which, those of a bunch of people who are live streaming on Mixer, especially those who are massive on there, have actually jumped onto Twitch.
It's kind of funny to see it having
I think
OBS
some jumped onto YouTube as well, but yeah, I know. I was gonna say like, of course you can stream to Facebook. That's another platform, but to live stream to you. But I know what you mean, Stefan. It also has the OBS logo and the Streamlabs logo, which technically they're not platforms, but I think like they just put that there as just other software applications that you can use the capture card with.
Open source,
But the fact that it's the open source applications.
Also, Lil Gabu to ask, are you gonna do a gaming stream to test it?
Yeah, I'll do a live stream. That's what I actually plan to do, Lil Gabo. I plan to do that, but like as a separate live stream. Like I won't be doing that tonight because I have work tomorrow. Got an early start.
Give it a week, then he has Crash 4, and then he'll play the whole game in the 5 minutes.
Yeah, I plan to live stream the demo. I know that for a fact.
Wait, do you already have the demo? Oh yeah, you have.
I pre-ordered it both physically and digitally. I opted for both physical and digital myself.
Okay, I only did physical. I can wait an extra week. I don't mind.
By the way, as a speedrunner, I have to ask: does it support capturing PS2 footage?
I don't think it
PS2
will,
footage.
since it's only support. I think you
Well,
need
you
to put in
you have to use converters and such.
P-
Of course, it's
yeah, you
it's
need,
gonna support it, but
yeah.
of course, you're gonna need to convert it to HDMI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have a PS2 converter to HDMI block you can put in, but it works, but you won't get like the proper 1080p 60 FPS feeling as you think.
That's
It
because
works,
like
but
you're upscaling
the
like
hardware
an
technically
older
doesn't
signal.
support it. Yeah,
Yeah.
so the hardware technically doesn't support it. So the image, it's while it will look 1080p, you see it on the image. It doesn't look actually 1080p.
Yeah,
It's
or
like what
plus
Pedro
like
says. It's
it depends what you use
upscaled.
because you don't want to upscale like an old, like a really obsolete signal, because like you can use really good quality cables for old consoles, and if you use like the best cable that you can use, such as an RGB SCART cable or a component cable, depending on the generation of a console, then
Yeah.
you'll get decent results, like for upscaling it to 1080p at least.
Yeah.
It can be as good as
I
4K, but at least, but
Yeah.
you know,
No,
it depends
yeah.
what said converter that you're using. Of course, if you use
I
something like
yeah.
a RetroTink, like that's pretty much one of the best devices that you can use in order to get the
I
most
have a
authentic
component switch.
results.
I still have a component switch for PS3 and PS2.
Yeah, component
You
cables
know
are
what?
pretty much decent. And yeah, it's something the
Yeah, for
previous
that generation, it's
generation,
perfect.
yeah, it's something that the previous generation still kept on as like a backup.
Yeah.
For those of you who
Also,
still own older
yeah.
displays, but that was that.
Also, Lil Gabo says 100 pounds well spent.
Yeah,
Man,
clock
that's
that.
expensive.
It says Lil Garber says £100 well spent. This is why you shouldn't get the demo by pre-ordering digital, even when you've pre-ordered the physical. I know you should get
Well,
it
you want to
regardless,
support.
but there are
Some
two
people do
reasons
it
why I
both
did it.
sides.
I support. There
Yeah.
are two reasons why I did it. I
Yeah.
support the franchise myself, so like I'm further supporting the franchise, and plus I'm a collector myself, so I'll just have it
exactly. I just like physical more than digital. It's from a youth thing. I still have like physical discs from Windows 95 games and stuff. I love it to bits. Digital also fine, but there's something about physical copies that make it more authentic.
Anyways, as you're
But
explaining
it's
that,
rolling
I'm
off.
just gonna open this. But yeah,
Open it up. We're going off
I'll
track
get-
again. Show us a device.
Yeah. It's because like when you brought up recording footage of older consoles
Yeah.
such as the PS2, that's when the tangent started.
Yeah.
Okay, tangent number
Yep.
2. Are we gonna have like a tangent counter in the live stream now?
Open it.
Yeah.
Open it.
I'm just like
open it.
taking the stickers off
It's
like off
yeah.
camera because
It's like Christmas
I don't
Eve or
want to be
something.
like
Like
a
open
bitch.
it.
Yeah. Christmas Eve,
Christmas
like
came
you
early
can't wait
this
till
year.
Christmas Day.
Yeah. Like open it.
And
Do it.
these are stubborn ass. These are stubborn
Do
as fuck stickers and all. Seal of approval.
Don't you have a
though.
knife?
Very secure, I gotta say.
Why don't you use the knife?
Because I'm just keeping the stickers intact.
Okay.
I know I don't
fair
have
enough.
to do that, but just
Let's
in
see.
case.
Lil Gabo 2 says, I mean, earlier the demo was mainly given to content creators who review/talk about Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
Like,
And that was an earlier
Yeah, of
version of the
course,
demo
but-
too.
yeah.
That was a press demo.
Yeah, that was a press. That was a alpha/beta
Yeah.
version of
Yeah.
the demo,
Yeah,
which
that was an
IGN
alpha
also
demo.
covered.
So yeah, the
I mean,
demo we have
Cadicrus
now
even
is
had-
a more polished up beta build.
Yeah, even Cadicrus has an alpha
Yeah,
build.
people like-
alpha build even.
Yeah, people like Square-Eyed Jack and I think Cadicrus as
Canadian
well
guy as
actually
well,
played. Yeah, Canadian guy
Crystal
also
Feature.
played the press demo.
Even they said in the Dino Dash level, the box placement for getting the box and the Wumpas was pretty much impossible. In a certain spot with the chase, and it was actually impossible. Like, how the hell are you going to be this frame perfect to get that box, get the Wumpas without getting hit in the slow damn slime
I
shit.
mean, it's
I
possible.
know for a
but
fact.
It is possible, but it's so damn hard to do.
Yeah, it's
I mean, you need to
possible,
get-
but like
Speedrunner.
I know for a fact that
It
it's
is
just gonna
possible.
be like I know for a fact that it's gonna be challenging just from playing the demo alone.
Yeah, it was a trick. Like you need to get the 1 or 2 Woompas, get the box, and get the other Woompa, and then you're golden. But it's very tricky.
Okay.
Yeah, Crystal.
So yeah, as I'm
Crystal.
carefully
Yeah.
getting the stickers off, we're entertaining you with like a Crash Bandicoot full demo conversation. Oh yeah, Crystal Fisher also played the demo, I think. Actually, I'm not
Yeah.
sure if he actually did, but I know that he does a lot of analysis videos.
Oh
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still waiting for a certain streamer that's currently live right now to show off his side of the
Yeah, I
demo.
think One Paloo's played as
Variants.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also saw some dude in England who's currently live right now. Also waiting for that person to show off his side of the demo, Pedro. And
Yeah. Meanwhile, I was
still
busy.
waiting.
Meanwhile, like I was busy catching up on promo content. But
I
while
know.
I
I
was
saw
away.
you. Well, you finally captured up to IGN, but there were like 20 other people after that, so you're still busy.
Yeah,
Let's
busy
see.
as
He
fuck.
was Vietnam. He has Vietnam flashbacks for just
Vietnam.
bringing up the name William P.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One interesting thing is that they're going to release a 1.0 patch for Crash 4 just because some skips were found in Snow Way Out, like a cutscene skip and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Speedrunners broke.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw some people already trying out speedrunner strats in the demo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's
People have already
hilarious
started
to see.
speedrunning the demo, and
Yeah.
the skips are actually pretty sick.
They are really cool. Like,
Like,
oh,
you don't even
cool.
have to jump in
It's like-
certain areas. Legit, all you need to do is
Yeah.
slide and spin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
slide spin, slide jump. Some people hate it, but I don't know. I haven't played it yet. Some people say the slide jump feels wrong, but like when you want to slide jump, it holds you up in the air in the center bit. It doesn't do it like like the original or Sane Trilogy, like where the slide jump actually pushes you forwards. Like no, the slide jump just holds you up a little bit, then jumps ahead and then goes forward. I don't know how to say it. It's like they block. You know, when you slide jump, they block you off,
Yeah.
and then you go forward. Something like that.
It's funny because
it didn't feel right. They said.
it's
Okay.
funny because I'm not sure if this is like platform version related, but I've seen most people play the PS4 version, but like the only version I've ever seen play the Xbox One version was Daniel, and when I was guest commentating in his live stream of the Crash 4 demo recently, like he was having bare trouble, like especially with the sliding mechanic. With him, it just like kept going down, and I think Noah had the same problem too.
Yeah.
So it kept going down instead of
Yeah, bro.
straight, but I'm not sure if that's like related to. I'm not sure if that's like version specific, but
Yeah.
whatever it is, like it
people-
certainly didn't work in their favor. Oh yeah, and by the way,
Yeah.
seeing as
so
though
Lil Gabba-
we've entertained people, but yeah, our little Gabba says, "Are you gonna do a tutorial on how to plug it in and work it this stream?" Well, I'm not really gonna do that. I'm just gonna show the contents of this box. So yeah,
You
it's
should-
kind
yeah.
of it's like an unboxing, but it's a showcase at the same time, plus with a general discussion.
Yeah.
Especially since I don't
Subscribe-
have to
yeah.
go through like the tedious chore of editing, so there's that as well. And I know it helps make a video
Subscribe to
better,
his
but at the
Patreon
same
page.
time, it's like it's more direct because I reach out to more people this way.
Yeah. You should subscribe to his Patreon page where he does
Yeah.
full unboxing. No, just kidding.
Subscribe to my Patreon. Donate.
OnlyFans.
Anyways, finally got the stickers off. Well, they're just hanging off on the sides, as you can probably see. Just about. But yeah. Time to open up this epic
You
package.
don't mind. I don't care.
Anyone
I
wants
want to
to
see
do
the
a drum roll? If
device.
anyone wants to do a drum roll, feel free to do so. Drum roll, please.
I don't know if you can hear it.
Okay, take precaution here.
That's how like the Saw team, like the
Yeah.
the
I'd say this turns into fucking Jaws now. But yeah, anyways, of course,
Yeah.
this is a cover, so which is really cool.
Looks
And of
cool.
course, here we have the
The logo
actual
looks sick.
itself. Yeah, yeah. The way they updated the logo, it looks fucking sick. It's
Like
been
a
like
play
this for
button.
like a few years now. Yeah, it's exactly like a play button. And yeah, by the way, like,
Play G.
Elgato's also been bought out by Corsair, so now Corsair owns Elgato products.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Actually, I think they're partnered, but I know that Corsair like handles everything now.
Mm.
But anyway, just the actual enclosure now. It's been like this for like a few capture cards now. I think this is the case with like the 4K, with the 4K60 Pro. But like I have the 4K60 Pro Mark 1. I didn't get a chance to upgrade to the 4K60 Pro Mark 2, but at the same time, like even when that one came out, I already got the AVmedia Live Gamer 4K, which already achieved what, you know, what
Yeah.
the 4K60 Pro Mark II had achieved. But then again, you know, it's typical AVmedia. They of course want to be the first to do things. Like, they want to be the first to do things, which in a way it does help in their favor in terms of business, but at the same time, like, in terms of functionality, like, of course people are gonna be like reporting all sorts of problems here and there, especially with functionality.
Yeah, we'll see.
Anyways, here we
Yeah,
are.
we'll see over time.
Oh, and that looks
Open
sick.
it.
So yeah, here we have the HD60s Plus itself.
It would be hilarious if it wasn't in there, like an empty
Man,
box.
that'd be fucked up. I'd ask for a refund immediately. Actually, this live stream, it would turn from a show. It would immediately turn from a showcase live stream into an exposure live stream saying, "Oh god, Corsair and Elgato exposed. They shipped me a sealed box without the capture card itself." Actually, no, it's
Damn.
probably it. Yeah, it would have been from
Yeah.
Elgato themselves, because then for Amazon to have had, for someone in an Amazon warehouse to have had to open up a box and put the stickers back on without leaving any residue on the box, man, that would have taken some serious talent.
You know, the
And
device
some proper
kind of looks like a
precision as
fancy
well.
mouse.
Yeah, it actually does.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is pretty much the design that
I
they've
just missed the
had.
scroll wheel in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty much the design that they went for portable capture cards since the HD60. And that was like before, that was the last capture card of Elgato before the HD60s that didn't have the instant game view feature. But anyways, HD60s
Lil Gabo
Plus,
says,
updated logo. And I actually have,
Elgato says,
I still have like the old logo as well. Oh yeah, Lil Gabo.
yeah.
Says, who else is ready for the tweets of Crash 4's Dark Souls 2.0 or something like that? I am, yeah. Even though they made it game journalist friendly with unlimited lives, but still, you know how game journalists be like. They call everything Dark Souls when they're shit at the game themselves. A very crappy ass level of competence.
They said it with the Insane trilogy, and the only thing I found difficult in the Insane trilogy was actually the extra level.
Yeah.
That they added in, and the one where you get the red gem in Crash 1. Slippery Climb.
Slippery Climb.
Yeah, Slippery Climb.
Slippery Climb. That was the only one I had difficulty with, because it's a well-known hard level, but it's still doable.
Except these motherfuckers gotta get good, like, you know, of course
Yeah,
it takes
like,
practice, patience.
Yeah, I mean, you see them die in certain. Yeah, you see them die on certain levels. You're like, what? How are you this stupid? Like, come on, you can't die on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, in certain areas it is questionable, but yeah. Anyways, I think I'll bring up.
Is it only the cable I see
as well, just to showcase it?
They only Do they only give you the power cable with it? I see power cable, like the USB cable in the box. Game journalists complain about it. Yeah, that's true. Game journalists complain about it. Well, it depends. If they get paid enough, they will praise the game.
Bro,
Yeah, that's-
imagine if Croc 1 was remade, then
Yeah.
they would say it's
That's
Yeah,
actually a remake
exactly
in
what-
demand as well. That's a remaster in demand on top.
oh
They
really?
complain about the new Super Mario Bros.
I've seen
games.
people on Twitter like asking for it.
They're not hard. I like new Super Mario Bros. Games. I like the way they are with like the mini map where you can go to different levels, like World 1 dash something or World 3
Yeah.
dash something.
Yeah.
I like those Mario games. Mario Odyssey, on the other hand, that open world shit, I don't want to. I like the Mario linear path thingy. That's my choice. But, yeah. But Pedro, I see a sticker and I see a card
Yeah.
in the
Okay,
box.
people. So pretty much, while Stefan was pretty much providing another one of his deep insights, or another
Yes.
one of his tangents, I pretty much just disconnected and wait.
What happened?
Sorry
I
about
think
that. It's rude interruption.
his parents walked in.
I just had to. Well, they didn't walk in. They were just talking really loud outside my room. But yeah, anyway.
Can happen.
Yeah, it pisses me off, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, you're
At
right,
least-
little Gabo.
At least they listen when I tell them, so. Yeah, anyways, people.
Nice.
It starts off easy and gets harder throughout the game. Tell me about it. But yeah, anyways, pretty much earlier on as Stefan was providing his deep insights, I went and got my OG HD60S. So like, here's a comparison between the original HD60S and the HD60S Plus, and it's the same size, of course, with the exact same design.
Yep.
But as you can see with like the original logo design, like it's still a play button, but it's like it's a square play button with a play button with like a target surrounded by it, and the
logo,
the S
yeah.
is in blue, which I actually liked back then.
Yeah.
Although like I remember like they've made another revision of HD60S where they've updated the logo to look like this. So like it just the logo is exactly like this but without the plus. With like
and the
so like
and the
I got an
HD
early revision of this back in 2016. Like around the time
And
before I built my gaming PC.
and the HD and HD60S isn't bold compared to the HD60 Plus.
Yeah.
And it's spaced between each other.
So yeah, and hopefully this
But
will
yeah,
and hopefully this capture card will supersede this capture card, as this one has been like the most reliable capture card in terms of live streaming in general. And honestly, like it's amazing how long it's lasted. To be honest.
Yeah. How much did it cost anyway? The S Plus.
The X Plus, it was like 100 and something, but like it was pretty cheap. Like it was cheaper than I remember, to be honest.
Yeah. Logabo, if you go a little bit back into the live stream, you'll see us covering the recommended requirements for the capture card you need to use for your laptop.
Although, like, you can't really sync back,
that.
but yeah. You can't sync back on Twitch, so it's not YouTube here, but yeah. Once you, like, watch it archived, you know, you'll get a much better insight on it from what we've discussed. But yeah, they'll certainly work on the laptop as long as it has, like, pretty much the base requirements. So it's like a decent gaming laptop with at least a GTX 10 series. It should be able to support it.
And 4 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah. So anyways, back to the contents. The HD60S Plus. And of course we have the Elgato Sticker over here, which they've been doing this for some time now. And I think Ava Media have been doing the same thing. I don't exactly remember. Since the last... I think I unboxed the Ava Media Live Game of 4K in 2018 or 19. I think it was 2019 because it was like... I think it was... Yeah, it was definitely shortly before... It was like... It was shortly before Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled came out. And of course, we had like a mid-yards instruction manual, which no one gives much of a fuck about. But well, it's not really an instruction manual. It's just like more of a health warning and such.
Yeah. Also, if you want to see the instructions on how to set it up, you look inside the box on your left.
Yeah, that's basically like what you need. It just shows that everything that's included in the box and everything. And here we have the HDMI 2.0 cable, which obviously is powerful enough to carry a 4K 60 frames per second signal. So yeah,
of course.
a pass through. Although, like, of course, with a history of cables, well, with a history of HDMI cables that they've actually shipped themselves, like, if it's too short for your setup, which of course has been the case for me, like, you're gonna want to fork out for a longer HDMI cable of like at least 5 meters or so.
Yeah.
5 or 10 meters.
I had to do that
depending
as
on
well.
How long it is. Yeah, and here's.
I had to do that with my HD PVR2 with the 2.0 cable. I had to get a new one for that.
Yeah, and here's the USB-C cable right here. So yeah, here's the Usbc interface and
yes,
the USB 3.0 like type of connector plug.
Shiny.
Yeah,
it's gold.
Sick how
shiny.
it's gold plated. So yeah, of course.
Look at you being a fancy gangster.
Yeah, man's a kick-ass gangster, bro. But yeah, like,
man's a gangster.
Man's a gangster. He has the bling bling.
Yeah, full on bling, bro. And of course, back here, of course, it's just an empty compartment. But on the side over here, on the flip side, we have the instructions. Pretty much just to download the software. And by the way, Elgato have actually introduced another software since the 4K 60 Pro. They've introduced the 4K capture utility, which can pretty much be used with any Elgato capture card. But to be honest, like if you're not really going for anything above 1080p, like and are just settling with 1080p at 60 frames per second, then the 4K capture utility is more of a bonus. So yeah, you can download both the original Elgato game Capture HD60 software, or the original Elgato game Capture HD software, and the 4K capture utility software at your own leisure. And yeah, it pretty much shows a quick pictogram, or like a Pictionary guide of how to set it up, which is pretty cool. And yes, this confirms that you can connect it to a laptop, little Garbo, so not to worry there. It just depends on your specs, that's all. And I don't know if they like dropped out, but cool, nah, they're still here.
No, we're still here. We're just admiring your stuff that you're showing.
Yeah,
content. And yeah, of course, like I'm not sure if you'd be able to see this, but you'll see the Elgato logo back here. You'll definitely be able to see it now up close because I can definitely see it in the preview on my monitor.
Oh yeah, it's very
we
can see it.
Yeah, it's just to do with the lighting. And yeah, I know that. By the way, if you hear noise outside, it's just like construction workers. They're pretty much they're building a house adjacent to one of the other houses that are just across the road.
That's cool. That's cool. It doesn't bother that much.
Yeah, at least you don't hear much. Plus, this is my Blue Yeti recording the audio here, so yeah.
Yeah, it won't pick it up then. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, if effects
Well, technically, we're still sitting here in the couch just waiting for you to set it all up on your PS4 and then play the demo of Trash 4.
Yeah, of course I'll do all that stuff in the separate live stream. Setup, of course, I'll do off camera, but like, in terms of testing it out with gameplay, that'll be a separate live stream entirely, which is what I plan to do.
Yeah. Whoop whoop. It's gonna be fun.
I think little Garbo's he's asking questions that we've pretty much covered earlier on, like.
Yeah, we have.
Could I stream PS2 session weekends
from, like, 2013 to 14? No. I mean, you can use a eGPU if you want, but that's just gonna cost extra money on top.
Mm-hmm. You can, but it is another cost workaround that you need to buy in order to do that shit. So you can, but it will cost more money.
Yeah. Long story short, like the RetroTink would be like a RetroTink 2X Pro. Now at this point would be like a cost-effective solution for pretty much decent and authentic results for live streaming. Pretty much legacy console gameplay footage.
Yeah.
So,
True that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much
That's
your
pretty much,
new
like,
capture
all the
card.
content. Yeah, that's all the content of a capture card. And by the way, like, also something that I didn't showcase yet because I was just showing what was in the box itself. Like the capture card, of course, has an output slot over here in order for you to pass through the signal. So that's how the pass through works. And then like over here is like the input slot, which you obviously hook up your consoles, or you could just
HDMI
if you
in,
don't want to
that's
like
HDMI out.
yeah, or if you don't want to like disconnect. If you don't want to keep connecting or disconnecting one console, like I recommend you get HDMI switcher, and also of course you're gonna have to fork out for an extra to pay for an extra HDMI cable, because you're gonna need one to go from the splitter to the capture card. I mean the switcher to the capture card.
Exactly. I did the same with my component switch. Same thing. Just one main goes into the capture card, and then the rest goes to my consoles that support component.
You gotta prepare for all
So
monetary
you just have to switch,
possibilities.
yeah. It's the same with your HDMI switch.
Yeah, and over here, of course, we have a headphone jack over here, which you can use optionally. Plus, you can use it to record like audio especially from a PS4 controller if you want, because it has that jack. It pretty much has that headphone jack, which you can just hook, like that headset that it comes with, that actually comes with the console itself. I'm not sure if the PS5 is gonna do that, but yeah, we'll see what happens. By the way, don't get me started on PS5 and Xbox Series X pre-orders. Man, there's been a lot of anarchy revolving around that.
Yeah. So far, I don't need a PS5 at this time of age. PS4 is doing just fine.
I might get it because I don't have a PS4. So
yeah,
you should, Elgato. You
case.
should.
Yeah,
I don't know which PS2 emulator is the best. I know a good
PCSX2
one you could use.
PCSX2 is pretty much like the most recommended emulator to use. Pretty much almost everyone uses that. It's the emulator that's in the spotlight, even though it's a poorly coded emulator, it still does the job. And Stefan just sent you a link in the chat, so there you go.
I use it as well. I even use it to do my Jack and Daxter recordings back in the day. The graphics may not look as good, but with some tweaking, I managed to run it at 30 FPS, and the graphics look almost the same as from a PS2 standard. So
you can even upscale it and stuff as well.
You can even upscale to 60. You can do that, but I had lag back in those days. Now I don't, because better system. Yeah.
Yeah, you can even like, even pretty much, even though you're recording on like a lower base canvas per se, say you're doing like you have a 4K screen, but you can set like the resolution, the internal resolution to like 5K. You can enjoy the 5K visuals on the 4K canvas through the emulator. It's just super sampled down to a 4K canvas.
Exactly.
So,
I believe the glitchy issue in levels like Droid Void in the emulator version of Forever Code was fixed. Yeah, that's true. Patches come over time with BIOSes and other LLB files that fixes those things.
Yeah.
If you just get the latest version of the PCSX2, those are automatically implemented, and you just need to get the right BIOS for it, then you're good to go. Maybe tweak some settings to preference for your system and the game, so it doesn't lag that much. But other than that, you're good to go.
Yeah,
it's not like
the scope.
It's not like we had It's not like we had back in the day where we had to like get different files from different sources in order to play one game correctly on your system. It's now more fixed.
Yeah, that's pretty much the
Yeah.
scope of it. Anyways, like, and now
Yeah,
over here,
pretty
last but
much.
not least, we have a USB-C connection, finally. I know it shouldn't have taken this long, but all the tangents that have been going on, even though they, as interesting as they were, as interesting as they've been to discuss, like, it does help to get to the point more.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, anyways, USB-C connect. Of course, we have the USB-C port right here in order to use the USB-C connection in order to connect directly to the PC, which is actually a helpful solution. And this is pretty much why I went for this capture card, like in terms of live streaming, is because like with the whole 4K 60R pass-through function, you can actually, wait, I'll just move this a bit more up so then it's just in the frame more, like more in the shot. There, that's better. Anyways, now that it's actually better in terms of like capturing like the 4K visuals. I pretty much got this because like you can actually get the 4K visuals to pass through, as mentioned before, while actually live streaming on the 1080p canvas, and it's got good input as well regardless of that.
Yeah.
But like in comparison to the AVeMedia Live Gamer 4K, like even though that has the best like ultra low latency input for a real-time preview, along with like performance in terms of like achieving a good solid 4K 60 frames per second HDR signal, like what it's been lacking in terms of my personal experience is pretty much establishing a live video feed, which is pretty much what I intend to achieve with the HD60S Plus, which, like I said before, is what this capture card was designed in mind for live streamers in general. And speaking of which, to like give a pretty much a physical representation of that data, I'm gonna bring up a chart from EposVox's showcase video of the HD60S Plus, which is like a screenshot that I took from his video. So yeah, here it is. So yeah, what you're looking at now is an OBS Studio latency testing comparison chart between the capture cards that he showed within the Elgato Game Capture, within his Elgato Game Capture HD60S Plus video that he showcased pretty much as a review before the capture card came out, presumably. As you can see, like that capture card was highlighted, but yeah, as you can see below, the AVeMedia Live Gamer 4K, which is right at the bottom, they have like input latency lower is better. So like the AVeMedia Live Gamer 4K, which is the best capture card I own in terms of power, in terms of like how powerful it is, and its performance is like, it offers like the best like input latency in terms of the best rate of input latency in terms of like a real-time video feed on the official software itself. But like Rec Central has had its issues, and then as you can see on the Elgato Game Capture HD60S, like there's just significantly much more, but it's not a lot. It's still pretty much the same. And in terms of its predecessor, you can see that yeah, there are a bit less seconds of input latency, but at the same time I think that's just because of the whole 4K 60 HDR pass-through. The 4K 60
basically,
frames per second HDR pass-through is pretty much just like, it's pretty much like adding more to what the computer can handle, so like that's understandable. And plus it's actually not a lot in comparison. Like it's only like, and of course these are rough estimates, but it's like these are results that he's gathered up himself, so shout out to EposVox. I highly recommend you check out his content. So yeah, it's like roughly 5 to 6 milliseconds of input latency, give or take, in comparison to its predecessor. By the way, although like another thing I was gonna point out in terms of capture card comparison is that also you see the Razer Ripsaw HD. Like, some of you who have been following my channel would know that I also own the Razer Ripsaw HD, as you've probably seen my unboxing video of it in the past. And pretty much I got that capture card for the exact same purpose as I've got this one, and that was before the HD60S Plus came out. And it turns out that it has even less input, that it has like even more input latency in comparison. And what's worse about that capture card is that it, even though it passes through 4K, it doesn't pass through HDR either. And on top of that, like, its software isn't very user friendly, nor is it you know, ideal to use within OBS in terms of how it handles, because from my experience, like, you get like desync issues with the Razer Ripsaw HD on OBS, like based on the way you capture it, and it doesn't capture it straight away. It acts like you have like two sources in a way from my memory. So like you have to capture the audio separately, which is another problem. So yeah, I really don't recommend you get the Razer Ripsaw HD. You're wasting your money. Even though like its advertising was promising for what it was back in the day, like, it turns out now that the HD60S Plus is out, like, that's just a rip-off now. Like, don't even bother. I mean, I know Razer like focus more on gaming products in general, which is something that they should just stick to instead of just like capture cards, and just let like companies like AverMedia and Elgato handle it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
You should listen to Coop.
Yeah. Although, by the way, I remember like some ironic comparison where like two people, like Epos Vox and Alpha Gaming, they both came back with different results in comparison to the Razer Ripsaw HD and the original Elgato Game Capture HD60S. And like, pretty much, I think Epos Vox picked up like the results of the Razer Ripsaw HD having like more input latency than the original Elgato Game Capture HD60S, and meanwhile, Alpha Gaming picked up the results of Razer Ripsaw HD having like slightly less input seconds, like being like a few frames ahead of the Elgato Game Capture HD60S. So like he picked up that it had less input latency than the original Elgato Game Capture HD60S originally had. But at the same time, for what it's worth, it's not that useful in comparison, and the end result obviously didn't do what intended. Wait, I'm being called, but I'll be right back.
Alright.
Yep. Awesome.
Okay, yeah, I'm just being called for lunch. But yeah, it doesn't matter because we're finishing up soon anyway. But yeah, it's pretty much represents like what I had, and this is pretty much the benefits. It's pretty much what I'm benefiting from with the HD60S Plus in comparison to the Razer Ripsaw HD. And as good as the AverMedia Live Gamer 4K is, like, as much as it still remains on top in terms of performance, like the Elgato Game Capture HD60S, like, at this point in time seems like the most reliable source capture card to use, to like a go-to point if you just want a stable feed with maintaining like a 4K 60 frames per second HDR10 pass-through, like visuals, like signal pass-through, with maintaining those visuals through a 1080p at 60 frames per second canvas on when it comes to live streaming. It's just that it has that edge. I think the reason why it has that edge is because of the whole PCIe like capture, the whole like PCIe interface in comparison to USB-C. But at the same time, the drawback of like a PCIe interface is that even though it's connected directly to the motherboard, so like it takes advantage of all that power. Like it's not that user friendly, and when it comes to the point where it's suddenly not those minor, you're having technical difficulties, but it's not one of those minor issues that you're dealing with. Like for example, when it comes to just deactivating and reactivating a capture card within OBS, or just opening and closing the capture window, whichever method you're using. And that's been an issue with Rec Central, by the way. So I don't think that's a direct issue with the AVerMedia Live Gamer 4K, but it's something they need to fix on AVerMedia's Rec Central 4 capture software. So yeah, and the reason why that's not very user friendly is because like once you're past all those like minor functions, like at some points, like what you can do with a USB-C capture card is, of course, this is where portable capture cards actually benefit from this worst case scenario, is that like with a simple fix you can simply just unplug and plug it back in, and that would potentially fix the problem. But like with a capture card that's like hooked up directly to the motherboard while your computer's still on, of course you're not gonna be opening up your computer just to like take out the capture card and put it back in, like at the risk of getting electrocuted. So like as a result you're gonna have to restart the computer, which of course is something that no live streamer should ever have to do, like mid live stream, of course, because then the feed will end up being split up into two parts. So if that's not what you want, then of course you're gonna want to go with a capture card that is pretty much portable and has something like a USB Type-C interface. Although like I'm not sure if somewhere in the future where there'll be a new type of interface that portable capture cards like this can use, that would actually benefit from like greater capabilities, like 8K in the future, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Like at this point in time, like not everything actually supports, like 4K still isn't even fully supported by literally everything. So I mean the fact that the fact that Twitch still only supports 1080p at 60 frames per second at maximum speaks for itself. Like, it couldn't make that any clearer. So yeah, only time will tell, people. Only time will tell.
Yeah, we're still in that transition between 1080 and 4K.
Yeah, like at the moment it's still like just a bit of an overlap transition per se. Just you gotta transition smoothly.
Exactly.
Yep. You can't just jump towards something new because people will get shocked and frightened by it.
Yeah, and plus that's not how technology works. So.
And that too.
Yeah, but
or they could be developing it for years in the background, and all of a sudden, hello.
Yeah.
We've had it for 10 years, people, but we just hide it.
Of course, you never know what happens behind closed doors.
Exactly.
But yeah, anyways, that pretty much covers this. So now that's officially the end of this live stream. It's been quite an eventful showcase live stream, and it's been pretty informative, I gotta say. And the fact that you two joined, not only has it made it more chill, but it's actually like it helped like get even more messages across along the on the side to the main point, which answered people's questions. So yeah, for those of you who are watching this live stream, I hope you've been really well informed on like art-based recommendations of capturing and live stream, like capturing gameplay and live streaming in general, along with like me showcasing the product itself, which has been actually quite fun. And I think that's how I should do like showcase live streams now. I should just like bring in guest commentators from like whenever they're available.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, why not? Will be also
really
quite fun.
helps. Yeah,
Plus, you also
it
have
makes it
some
more
people
fun.
to talk with.
Yeah, it makes it more chill. It helps in moral support, and we're just carrying each other like that.
Yep, that's true.
It's like we're all steering the same ship.
We have to support each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's
Must
all
not
about.
die.
That's what it's all
Must
about,
not die.
mofos. Yeah, must not die. But anyways, that pretty much concludes this showcase live stream of the Elgato Game Capture HD60s Plus. I really hope you enjoyed this live stream. For those of you who are watching it live, it's been, in a way, it's sort of felt like quite an adventure, like, and it actually felt better than doing an unboxing video as well, because to actually do it as a live stream, even though like, yeah, I can't have music in the background in the live stream, well, you can, but like at the same time you don't want to distract yourself while commentating.
Yeah, true. Well, you can put music in the background,
yeah, and you can mute
it for your side.
Yeah, you can mute on your side, but at the same time, like, you don't want to distract too much. But I think, I don't know, maybe in the future I might actually like bring like music into the background of live streams. It depends on your attention span. That's all it is. But yeah, apart from that, I think like, you know, bringing in guest commentators has actually helped, which is a bonus. So yeah, as far as music goes, that's like a bonus aspect.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, pretty much that's basically the end of this live stream now. For those of you who have been watching this live, feel free and be sure to follow me on Twitch to keep yourself up to date with future live streams that I have planned for this channel. And of course, as I've said earlier, I plan to do a recording test. Well, I mean, I plan to do a live stream test with showcasing gameplay of this, like with this capture card in action. So stay tuned for that. Obviously not tomorrow because I've got work in the morning, but yeah, we'll see whenever that time comes, which is hopefully soon. We'll have to sit tight until then.
Or just wait a whole week till the official game comes out and you do the official.
Yeah, or I just like live stream some other game before, and then like just to prepare for it. Then I really know where I stand with a capture card to test the waters. But yeah. So yeah, sit tight for that, people, for whenever it may happen sometime in the near future. And for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, for those of you who are watching this archived on YouTube, feel free and be sure to subscribe, like, or rate, however you want to put it. Drop a comment below to leave constructive feedback, if you possibly can, and or share around with your friends and family, whoever they may be, and see you lot on whatever's up next on my channel. Until then, laters everyone, peace out.